So the brand new Apple AirPods 3 are actually 2 years newer than the AirPods Pro, and yet they're selling for a lower price tag, which leads people to wonder what's different about them and which is the better pair to buy, the newer AirPods 3 or the Pro AirPods Pro. And so in this video, I'm going to dive into all of the differences, all of the upgrades to the AirPods 3, as well as why you might want to buy the AirPods Pro instead of the 3s. And so really to highlight, the goal here is to answer two questions. One of them that I get a lot is which pair should you buy? So if you have either an older pair of AirPods or if you don't have AirPods, do you want to buy the Pros or the 3s? And the second question I know I'm going to get a lot, and I already have been getting this, is if you have the AirPods Pro, should you upgrade to the AirPods 3, or is it even an upgrade? And so we're going to cover that in this video. I want to start off with the physical designs. You can see, obviously, there's a lot that's in common with these. The very, very similar aesthetic on them, the same shape of the case. It's a little bit smaller and thinner on the AirPods 3, but even though the case is smaller on the 3, you're actually getting a longer battery life. So talking about the battery life real quick, the battery life on the Pros, well, assuming you have ANC on, which you really will, or at least I wouldn't buy these unless you used ANC, but with active noise cancellation on, you're getting about 4 to 4.5 hours with the earbuds and 24 when you include the case. And on the AirPods 3, you're getting 6 hours in the earbuds and 30 hours with the case. Realistically, that's not a massive difference, but nonetheless, it's something you should know about. Otherwise, looking at the cases, you probably won't notice the next difference. But there are two more differences with the AirPods 3 case. One of them is that it actually has water resistance. So while the AirPods Pro and the AirPods 3, like the actual buds themselves, are all IPX4 water resistant, now the case on the AirPods 3 is also rated at IPX4. So that's a subtle improvement there for durability. And then the final difference with the cases is actually that the AirPods 3 case has MagSafe. So while they both charge wirelessly on any wireless charging pad, and personally, I've never had an issue charging wirelessly. Like, it's pretty easy to line up a small square with a little circle. Like, I don't know. Anyway, Apple thought it was necessary to put MagSafe on here, and one might assume that maybe they were doing that so that further on down the line, we can have reverse wireless charging on our phones. That's at least what I thought. That's what other people thought. But looking at the iPhone 13, and if you take this AirPods 3 case and you set it on the back, it does not line up. In fact, it does just the opposite. The magnets have the same polarity, which pushes it off center, and no matter what, it's almost impossible to line this up on the back. So I don't think we'll be seeing this anytime soon. I don't think this will be charging on the back of your phone. So as far as MagSafe goes, the big point here is I don't think that's a reason to buy the AirPods 3 instead of the AirPods Pro. But let's talk about the AirPods themselves. When you take them out of the case, the main difference here, and this is really going to be one of the highlights when you're choosing between these, is the silicone tips on the AirPods Pro versus the open ear design on the AirPods 3. So we're going to talk a little bit more about the fit and the security of these. Obviously, everybody has different ears. This is my little disclaimer here. My ears are not the same as your ears, but I'll talk about my experience. I will say that the AirPods 3 have a more open ear design, obviously, more in line with what we saw on the AirPods 1 and 2, although more of an angled down design. So a slightly different geometry there. If you didn't like the first and second gen AirPods, you might like these. Alternatively, if you did like those, you might not like these. I don't know. You have to try them. But I will say that they're surprisingly comfortable and very secure. If you line them up perfectly, which takes a little bit of practice to do, then I'm able to wear these for probably about 2 hours before I get any type of ear fatigue. Now, the AirPods Pro fit very similarly. I would say at first they're more secure, but if you're doing some more dynamic workouts, if your ears get sweaty, then the silicone tips might kind of act as a little force to push them out of your ear. And at least for myself, if I'm on a phone call for like anything longer than 30 minutes, the movement of my jaw forces the AirPod or the left AirPod out of my ear, and that's something that doesn't happen with the AirPods 3. So that's just for me. I would say that the AirPods 3 are more forgiving. They don't have an exact fit, but there's a lot of tolerance. It's a pretty sloppy tolerance for where they can actually fit, whereas the AirPods Pro really need to have a good fit, but the good news is they're also customizable. You can put 3 different silicone or many different silicone tips on here, not just what comes in the box, but there's tons of aftermarket ones that are made out of foam or silicone or all different styles you want. So again, this is always a really tricky subject when you're talking about security and comfort because everybody's ears are different, but I would say they're both very secure and very comfortable. But if you're somebody that doesn't like silicone tips because your ears get hot and sweaty, if you're worried about hygiene when you're sharing earbuds, or if you just otherwise don't like the feel of silicone tips, then the open ear design is going to be better. But of course, with that, you are getting a massive compromise in the sound isolation. You have kind of several issues there that lead me into the next topic of the audio. So the several issues I was talking about, which are not really big issues, but they're drawbacks to having that open ear design. One of them is sound bleed. So if you listen to music at a very loud volume in a very quiet environment, a library or in an office, then the AirPods 3, people around you are going to hear what you're listening to. Additionally, you're going to hear other things around you as well. So these don't have any type of isolation at all. If you're working on anything loud, if you're on a street, if you're walking on a sidewalk, you will hear absolutely everything around you. And because of that, I find that I need to play my music at a louder volume. Now, talking about sounds, the AirPods Pro obviously do a great job of blocking it out, not only with the passive noise blocking of the silicone tip, but also with the very powerful active noise cancellation. So if you don't plan on using active noise cancellation, it may still be better to get the AirPods Pros for that transparency mode because you have substantially less sound bleed. So only you hear your music, but you can also hear the sounds around you. As far as the sound quality itself goes when you're listening to music, they both give you a relatively similar experience, pretty well balanced. There's no custom EQ in the app, which is very unfortunate because the AirPods Pro, a long complaint I've had with these is that they don't have an incredibly powerful bass. I mean, it's overall balanced, but if you're looking for some head-shaking bass for a workout or for EDM or whatever you might listen to, neither one of these can really deliver incredibly powerful bass, but they do sound really nice and clean and balanced. Acoustic music sounds good. Really anything you listen to sounds pretty decent on these earbuds. Something I noticed that I don't like about the AirPods 3, well, really two things here. One of them is that they don't have the most low-level detail on cymbals and hi-hats. I think that's kind of tied into the open ear design. But further than that, when you're not playing music, the left earbud on my AirPods 3 has kind of a ringing. It's a subtle ringing that maybe not everyone will hear, but it bothers me and it actually hurts my ears when I'm not playing music. But regardless, I think it goes without saying that you generally get a better listening experience, better audio quality when you're listening with the silicone tips on the AirPods Pro, or you can even go a step further if you want the best sound quality and the best active noise cancellation. You can even buy some foam tips, and I'll have some linked in the description below if you guys really want to upgrade your quality when you're listening to the AirPods Pro. But in general, like I said, they both have pretty decent sound, and if you want to know more about how these sound, you can check out my full reviews, and I'll link those down below. But again, really to highlight, not a whole lot of difference in the sound profiles with these. Hey guys, just a quick side note, these AirPods are obviously expensive, but in 2021, fortunately, we had a huge year for budget-friendly earbuds, and you can find earbuds that sound basically as good as these, but have better controls, have better customization, have a better EQ, and have more water resistance, all for less than $100. So if you want to see a video comparing my top picks for the best earbuds under $100, be sure to go down and click that subscribe button. That video is coming out in the next couple days. Now, a lot of people also seem to confuse active noise cancellation when you're listening to music with noise cancellation when you're on a phone call, so blocking out sounds with the microphone. So just to show that these both do a great job and also to compare them, let's get into a microphone test now to see which one's actually better. All right, so first up, these are the Apple AirPods Pro. We're indoors in a studio environment, so leave a comment and let me know if you can hear what I'm saying. And then these are the Apple AirPods 3. Of course, the AirPods Pro do have a transparency mode, but hearing yourself talk with these feels a little bit more realistic. So that's definitely a positive if you're on a lot of phone calls. All right, now these are the Apple AirPods Pro. Again, a lot of traffic behind me, but both of these do a fantastic job, so leave a comment and let me know which of these two you think has a better microphone. Now, this is a microphone test outside, louder environment, there's some cars going by. Honestly, these microphones do a fantastic job. So leave a comment and let me know if you can hear what I'm saying, even next to a busy road. So that just about wraps up the differences with these earbuds. The last big one is going to be the price. At the time of release, the AirPods 3 are $180, and the AirPods Pro at their release were $250, although, like I said, they're 2 years old, and it's more than likely you're going to find these for around the $200 range. I'll put a link in the description to see the latest price, but realistically, if you're looking at a $20 price difference between these, the only thing you're losing with the AirPods 3 would be MagSafe, which, like I said, is not a big deal, and that water resistance on the case, but otherwise, you're getting a lot of the same stuff. You're still getting water resistance, you're still getting spatial audio, you still Find My, adaptive EQ, you still have the H1 chip, you still have those pressure controls on the earbud stems. Like, there's not a lot that you're losing by going for the AirPods Pro for that extra $20. And what you're gaining, I think, is pretty substantial. You're actually going to be getting, obviously, active noise cancellation and transparency mode, as well as a more customized fit so you can really find the perfect ear tips and fit your ears well. But ultimately, it comes down to what style you're looking for. If you're somebody that hates silicone tips, then definitely go with the AirPods 3. But I would say for almost anybody else out there, it's definitely worth the money to spend that extra $20 and get the AirPods Pro. I don't think you'll be disappointed, and I think it's a pretty easy recommendation here. So leave a comment below and let me know which of these you like better. If you would prefer the open ear design, or if you really like the silicone tips. I've actually seen people on both sides that really love or hate either one, so leave a comment and let me know which one you like better. As always, if you enjoyed this video, consider liking and subscribing. I'm Mike O'Brien, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.